Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Right now on WIS News 10, live look at radar as snow inches closer and closer to the Midlands. And check this out. We got a live look right now. If we can put it up over downtown Atlanta, look at all that snow. That same system that did this brought us even more rain overnight. It also dumped some snow in Boone, North Carolina. You can see snow on those roads right there. This is a live look at King Street. And another live look right here. This is downtown Columbia. There's no snow, but wet streets. So if you're heading out, please be careful and slow down. And do you see this line right here? This is the difference between snow and rain, and in Columbia, we're on the rainy side, but we're watching it closely. Welcome to WIS News 10. I'm Paul Rivera. Team coverage this morning. We'll get to Sam Blauweiss and Tim Miller in just a second, but let's go ahead and start with Chief Meteorologist Deminis Brown. He's in the First Alert Weather Center. Good morning to you, Deminis.
Hey, Paul, good morning to you. Today is an alert day, and so we are alerting you to the opportunity for some snowflakes or brief snow showers for some of us. Otherwise, a little bit of rainfall in the mix. And here's what's happening on the radar. A lot of us here across the Midlands not seeing anything falling from the sky, but then we go to the upstate, and we are seeing some snow that's beginning to move back into the picture here. And yes, that is snow that's getting a little closer to parts of our viewing area. And you remember what we've been talking about the past several days, that we will have to watch out for Saluda County, Newberry, Fairfield County, points to the northwest and north. Well, that's the scenario this morning. We're also keeping an eye on the temperatures, but that is snow that's beginning to move a little bit closer to Greenwood, and we got to watch how closely to see some of the snow getting into portions of our viewing area for today. Now, here's a look at it. You see this tail end here that's over areas like Metro Atlanta, Central Georgia right now. Some of this will swing on by. And if you saw yesterday, we talked about that scenario that before this event was all said and done, there could be that tail end trying to scoot into portions of the heart of the Midlands, like Lexington County, Richland County, points eastward, that we could see maybe a couple snowflakes or brief snow showers. So that's still a possibility, but little to no accumulation for most areas, because our temperatures will likely stay above freezing for most of the day. We've got to watch out for some of these areas, though, to the west, like Saluda County, Newberry County, even for Winsboro. Right now, we're at 34 degrees. That's the current temperatures. At Columbia Metro, we're at 38, and we have a range of middle, even some upper 30s out there right now. So if we do see some wintry weather moving through, a lot of that probably won't stick around and on the pavement. With more about that, meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin is standing by with more on those details. Vaughn.
Well, you're right, Deminis, and I'm going to show you our forecast moving forward from this point, because the one thing we do know, we're going to get some snow showers in here. They won't hang around for a long time, and they won't really materialize to a whole lot on the ground. But as for right now, we're watching as that tail end of weather begins to inch closer and closer. Now, as it moves closer, that's the time frame that we're going to really keep our eyes on it moving into this area and possibly giving us a couple of decent snow showers around here. Now, as for right now, notice how we're looking at about 9:30 this morning. In about a half hour or so, we start to see enough of that energy swinging in to give us a few decent, fast melting snow showers in Lexington County, in Saluda, Newberry, and in Winsboro. Now, as we start to go up towards 10:30, we see them moving even closer. So as we start to get to about 10:30 or so, even though we're seeing it covering a wider area, it's going to be on the back side of this. 11 o'clock, we see it inching back up to the north, and we even start to see some of that rainfall starting to sneak in there as well. Temperatures, as you notice, they've been well above freezing, and they're going to stay above freezing. So we're not expecting those temperatures to dip down to 32, 31, or 30 degrees. We're going to stay right at about 34, which is good because it gives us that opportunity to see a few decent snow showers. Hey, it's Saturday morning. The kids want something to do, right? So let them look at the snow showers, but it's going to melt on contact with the ground. The only thing that we'll have to worry about going into tonight will be the possibility of all that rain that we've had over the last couple of days, kind of getting slushy and refreezing on the roads. That's something that we'll talk about coming up in my complete First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Paul?
Thank you so much, Vaughn. We are keeping a close eye on the weather here this morning as it continues to develop all around the state. Our very own Tim Miller this morning is live in Newberry with the latest. Good morning, Tim. How are conditions out there? You seen any of that snow yet?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I'll tell you what, it is cold this morning. Our current temperature is 35 degrees. How do I know that? Because I have our WIS weather app, and I'm keep watching radar. Come on, snow, it's right on the cusp. But right now we have a warm nose. I mean, I don't, but literally in the atmosphere, it's a weather phenomenon. It's called a warm nose, right? It's this little bubble of warm air about 8,000 feet up. So that's an issue, because as it snows, it melts and turns to rain. So we've had this warm nose over South Carolina. I think we're going to erode that, as Dominus and also Yvonne have talked about. So once that happens, that's when I think we'll start to get a little bit of snow, especially here in Newberry. It's 35 degrees. So as it starts to head this way, there's certainly a better chance here in Newberry than there perhaps are other places, because temperature is about everything. But here's the deal. Every time we've gone out, Jeff Diamond, our photographer, and I have gone out, it's snowed. So it hasn't happened yet. We're batting 1,000, so I still think we have that opportunity. But it is cold this morning, that's for sure. The temperature's starting to fall. So we'll hopefully keep our fingers crossed for some flakes, because I do believe they're on the way here in Newberry. Reporting live, we're just off the interstate I-26. Tim Miller, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Tim. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to Sam Blywise. She's near Greystone and I-26. Sam, hey, what's it looking like out there around you?
Yeah, well, Paul, I couldn't really hear you there in my ear, but what I can tell you it looks like out here, it's cold. It is cold out here. A light drizzle. You know, I've been kind of watching the weather all morning, and obviously last night we saw a lot of rain. But what I will tell you is it is cold. We're sitting right on that cusp, just as Tim said, right between, that 34 to 36 degree mark where it's cold, and the likelihood is we could see some of those snow flurries. But by the time that snow even were to come down and hit the ground, the likelihood is it's going to be rain. So I'm here at this I-26 Greystone overpass to tell you to be careful on the roadways, because regardless if we see a snow flurry or if we see some heavy rainfall, either way, those roads are going to be coated, and we know what that looks like here in South Carolina when some of those roadways get coated. So places to be watching out for, of course, overpasses just like this one. If there is any amount of small accumulation, it'll be in places like this, in overpasses, of course, on higher elevation areas. So be careful and mindful if you're out on the roadways. I can tell you that the report that I read from South Carolina DOT this morning, not a lot of prep work being done specifically here in the Midlands when it comes to salt preps, sand preps, all of those types of things. But a lot of that being done in the upstate as they prep for that. But again, be mindful if you're on the roadways. We're going to stick around here. We may pop around and check out a couple of other areas, but we'll be watching the roadways and making sure we keep you up to date. Paul, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Sam. We'll check back in with you in a few minutes. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those traffic conditions. Obviously, a lot of rain on those roadways right now, so you're going to want to take it a little slow. We got some traffic, some red areas near downtown, so if you're traveling through there, take your time, be safe. We got a traffic cam right here. This is I-20 East right here. And looks like traffic is flowing along. We got some water droplets right there as well. Just take your time, and as you're heading out this morning, don't forget you can download our WIS News app and our First Alert Weather app to get an update as you're heading out the door today. All right, moving along now, Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Officials there also prep for winter conditions. Friday, that airport tweeted out this video as workers sprayed down an American Eagle flight. The chemical they're using helps lower freezing point and keeps ice from forming. We've also been monitoring flights leaving and going to the Charlotte airport for any delays and cancellations. Listen up here. So far, there are 14 flights canceled and 9 flights delayed. So if you have a flight headed out today, or you've got plans to pick up someone from the airport, just make sure you check that flight status before heading out. And let's go ahead and head up to North Carolina. You're getting a live look at King Street. This is in Boone, where the snow continues to fall and buildings there are covered in snow. It's definitely a winter wonderland for them out there on King Street. Also, the mountains have gotten a few inches of snow so far in North Carolina. Some spots even saw half a foot. Look at that. Staying in North Carolina, this is video from Blowing Rock, where a lot of people got an official welcome to winter, and WBTV's Amanda Foster, she was out there and she's got the latest.
There was something a little magical about the first snow.
This is why we live here.
A cozy shop, a sip of hot cider.
Southern hospitality, we've got a crock pot.
Even a Santa sighting.
The first one's always a special day.
And it doesn't really matter what age you are.
I like to see my children have fun.
Or where you're from.
I like to throw the kids in the car and just take off.
This family did just that. They saw a few flurries back in South Carolina.
It was like just enough that we were dying for more.
Now they're carefully crafted snowballs taking a special skill. But for this family, a room at a local hotel was all spontaneous luck.
So we were really lucky that we got a spot.
But even for those who live right here, a little holiday joy and really nothing like those first few flurries.
The locals are just as excited about a snow as the tourists are.
My gosh, it looks so fun. That's in North Carolina, folks. Sorry to disappoint you. But residents out there say now they're excited that the ski slopes will open up later today. And don't forget, download your WIS weather app. There you can get changes as the weather changes. You can figure all that out from the palm of your hand. Best of all, it's free in your app store. And new this morning, we're learning more about the woman who died in a car crash. This is in Clarendon County. She's a mom. She was driving back from Disney with 6 kids. Yvette Figueroa died when she ran off the road on I-95 yesterday morning. As I mentioned, she's a single mom and had 3 kids.
A good person, a good, loving person. She took care of the kids there while we was down there for the 9 days, cooked breakfast, dinner, took them to the pool, the park.
2 other kids were hurt in the crash but should be okay. That family is asking for help, for the families, for burial costs, and for the kids left behind. We've put how you can help them right on our Facebook page. Happening today, the community will be remembering the life of Ernest A. Finney Jr. His celebration of life service will be at 10 a.m. at the Elmore Chapel at Claflin University. This is in Orangeburg. He was the state's first African American to serve as the Chief Justice on the state's highest court since Reconstruction. And Finney was also a former legislator. He was elected in 1972. Again, his services begin at 10 a.m. this morning. And still to come, well, the weather outside may be frightful or at least rainy. So if you want to stay inside and maybe do some holiday cooking with the family, we've got something that is just for you. We've got a chef in the building and some culinary students to whip up some delicious food. And our meteorologists are busy in the Weather Center as they keep their eyes on the conditions here around the Midlands on this first alert day. We will have your forecast coming up in just 2 minutes.